And welcome to Hospital Podcast, episode 417. And today I feature a lot of music, but two releases in particular. One is Marcia Hudajarova's piano performances of some of the works from Hospital. They're available on a piano book, so you can learn them yourselves. And it's perfect for isolation if you have a keyboard in your house. This is New Logic, Morning Light. Massive shout to Marcia, who flew here from Amsterdam at the end of last year to record these. And my boys were lucky enough to have her as their piano teacher, which kind of explains why they did so well. So Marcia, thank you for giving my lads a grounding in music. I'm going to play several more tracks from the songbook, and these should be up on Spotify by now. Had a lot of requests for that. Okay. From the amazingly good T.I. album on Critical Music, this is Curtains.
It lives out in those woods. Dark. Something.
Oh!
It lives.
I got a shout in from Bunderbrink who says, "Hey Ellie, please listening and loving your music as I do with all D&B. Your podcast is my soul reviver, especially in this crazy time of COVID-19 globally. I live in Joburg, South Africa as a video news cameraman. And as many of my friends love D&B and listen to your show, I wanted to give them a massive shout. From SA to the UK, from the US to Australia, from Africa to the Middle East, everywhere my family and mates may be, I'm thinking of you all and missing you terribly. Most of all, I want to give a huge shout out and kiss to my beautiful soulmate Michelle, who works as a vet in rural South Africa in a place called Umzimkhulu. We may be separated by distance and physicality even before this virus, but we are never separated in mind, soul and heart. I love you." So I was going through the comments on the last podcast on YouTube.
It lives.
And there was someone who said, "Is there any way to get this podcast
In dark.
without the commentary?"
Something.
So obviously I said, yeah, there is. You buy all the tunes
It lives.
and you mix them together in the same way, but you don't talk over it. Simples. Richard Addy says, "How can I get a shout out on your podcast? I just want to give my son Toby a huge shout. He's only 3 and doesn't understand anything about all this nasty coronavirus stuff, which is actually a blessing for me, as he, without fail, puts a smile on my and my wife's face every single day. Also, shout out to all the frontline NHS staff and key workers, me being a key worker too. Cheers, Tony. It's nice to have a familiar voice in all of this, as well as it's super lonely in lockdown, and a friendly voice goes a long way. Yes, Richard. Next tune's for you."
It lives out in those woods. In the dark.
Let's have some more piano music from Marcia Hudajarova now. This is her interpretation of Nightingale by Hugh Hardy. And of course, this is from the hospital piano book. And one thing that took us completely by surprise during lockdown was the web shop went absolutely ballistic. and consistently amongst our 10 top-selling items has been the piano book. So get yours while you can. We will repress it, or we might take our time and arrange 10 different pieces. But it does take a long time. Now this is quite amazing. It's from the new Halogenics album on Critical, and it's called Independent. Genuinely futuristic, future soul D&B. And I got a shout in from Rose Rayo, who says, "Hi, Mr. Coleman. I hope you're well and that you're using your time constructively in amongst this madness. I know international travel is limited. Well, it's not happening at the moment, so it must be difficult for you and your beautiful family in times of uncertainty. I send you all my love." Thank you. "My partner is stuck in China, star-crossed corona doctors. I'm currently on the front line in A&E in South London, trying to keep the virus down. Your podcasts are, as always, inspired and wired to stop me from getting tired." Wow. I wanted to thank you for the recognition that you've given the NHS and junior doctors in the past. I've felt more love and support from hospital records than from our own government. I really appreciate all the recognition and shout outs that you do for us that keep us dancing always. In true spirit, for my night shift tonight, I'm once again wearing my Trust Us We're Junior Doctors t-shirt, which you so kindly donated all of the proceeds to South London Junior Doctors Foundation. You and the Hospital Records team are absolute gems of human beings. Hospital Records has got us through 8 years of training, and we will keep skanking for you. Please remember that when you think about the frontline staff during this pandemic. We can't wait to come to the next hospitality events. Nor can I. Nice ending. Like it. Now, this is a track by a producer, and I swore that I'd played music by him before, but apparently not. He's called Nelva. He's really, really good. I'm going to play 2 tunes by Nelva on this podcast. This is called North Station. I love this tune. It's kind of building with a sense of collective joy. Now we've got a shout in from Kitty Green, who says, thank you for your Instagram message. My partner just showed me. I don't use socials because I think they're poison. Anyway, I know it's difficult at this time not to talk about politics, but sometimes people like yourself who have a broader audience and a thicker skin, because I know you're human as well. It's just nice to know that you're brave enough to speak the truth. As a Kiwi living in Australia, they always talk about corporations being the backbone of economy, but it's people like you and I who are the actual backbones, and hopefully politicians will listen and give the middle class tax breaks and the respect they deserve instead of these corporations, mining companies, etc. Amen. Anyway, thank you. I've been a huge Hospital fan since the beginning and always love the message that Hospital gives. Stay safe. You're like David Attenborough in my books. That is such a compliment. David Terezzi says, hey Tony, just typing out a quick message for the next podcast. I'm the long-haired Dutch guy with the black Junglist Movement shirt which you met last September at Hospitality in the Park. That seems like years ago. After Christmas, I fell down my 20-step staircase and fractured my ankle in 3 places. Ow! It's been a long road to relearn how to walk, but I'm already down to 1 crutch, and I can just barely hold my weight crutchless. The quarantine has been a blessing. It's sad we can't go out with the great weather, but it's given me time to think about what things really matter in life. More time to pick up the old hobby of D&B production. It saddens me when people see the quarantine as something negative and still go out. It's all about your own mindset. Stay positive, slow down, and use the time which is given to you. I totally concur. I think you know what this is. Of course, it's Beautiful Lies by B Complex, played by Marcia from the Hospital Piano Book. And it just goes to show that if you have a soul as big as Marcia's, you don't need drums, you don't need bass, you don't need anything other than a piano. And our latest release is the EP by Kings of the Rollers. It's called The Main Event, and this is Triple X. Massive shout to Serum, to Voltage, and to Blade Runner. It's going to be a great year for them. To an old raver. Hi Tony, one of my resolutions for 2020 is to get a shout on the podcast. You've done it. I've been listening since 2008 and I look forward to each new episode. I've been into electronic music since the early Street Sounds electro compilation albums in the 80s, and I've been through different genres as they developed: electro, hip-hop, house, acid, rave, jungle and drum and bass. Can you give a shout out to all the older D&B heads who listen with their kids in the car or while they work? We don't get to go out raving anymore because it's way past our bedtimes, but we still love the music. Thank you for the positive energy over the years and the astounding music. One love to each and every one. Andrew McCoon. Well, Andrew, I guarantee you're not as old as me. I celebrated my birthday last week in isolation. 59. It was nice. I liked it. Incoming brand new music from Dogger. This is a cut called Too Long. And this is the other tune by Nelva that I promised you. It's called Start Key. And a message from someone from New Zealand who says, hey London, could I get a shout out in the next podcast to the Zeus boys and gals who are listening in? Miss you guys. And a big love to the 2019 Med School Tour in New Zealand, where we ran into Unglued, Winey Degs and Royalston at a kebab shop at 4 o'clock in Auckland. They had a meal with us and were the most humble, down-to-earth guys you could ever meet. Absolutely fantastic end to end the night, and a big reason why I got a hospitality on the beach ticket. Big love. Now, as I'm sure you've probably read or heard, Hospitality on the Beach 2020 has been moved to 2021 for obvious reasons. All of your tickets remain completely valid for next year. So, unless you don't want to go in 2021, hang on to your tickets, because they are gold dust. But if you want a refund, you can get one. It's easy. So as the government very, very gradually starts to think about kind of de-escalating the level of isolation that we're under, I think you'll all understand and agree that sweaty, dark nightclubs will probably be at the bottom of the list, along with brothels. Which leaves it to us to keep bringing you the music. And hospital DJs are working like absolute monsters to get you the music that you need. We're going to come up with a long-term solution, but in the meantime, we're going to be live streaming and broadcasting and doing all our stuff. Oh, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? Go on, Marcia. It's Kino Nocturne, Marcia's version from the songbook. And it was lovely over Christmas because Marcia now lives in Amsterdam, and I took the family over because I was doing the Christie. We had 4 nights there, and we hooked up with Marcia and had a lovely lunch and a really nice catch up. So if you want something to get your teeth into while you're in isolation, there is nothing better than to get the Hospital Piano book and start to learn some of your favourite tunes. Believe me, it's so fun. Who knows this one? Come on. So we knew that we needed something by Metric in the book. And it occurred to me, because from his last album, the tracks that I always used to mix together were Northern Lights and Pengamar. So I was like, what about we do a medley of Northern Lights and Pengamar? Go on, Marcia. Now, if you think those were good, you are not ready for this. We had to do it. Spy, what the future holds. Shall I do a shout? Why not? This is from LSA, who says, sorry if this is the wrong place to message, but this is for the podcast. I fell in love with D&B at Rock City in Nottingham, dancing to Billion Dollar Gravy. Fast forward several years, I still love it. It's the soundtrack to life, running or dancing around the kitchen with my 3 daughters. I'm a frontline mental health social worker, and times are tough right now. Not being able to see patients as much as you wish you could, going into work, covering yourself in PPE to have some of the most intimate discussions with people who are already anxious, worried or distressed, or coming home and stripping off in the garden to try to not bring the germs into your beautiful babies at home. It's all new, and it's emotionally hard upon all of us. My escape and release valve is running through fields, past a river, and through nature with the podcast as my soundtrack. Sometimes I'm uplifted. Sometimes it makes me want to run faster. And sometimes it's a trip down memory lane. It's keeping me sane. Thank you. LSA, thank you so much for that shout. It's really moving. What I like about it is that you showed your inner child. Because we all are one. I feel really sorry for people who believe that they're grown up. I really do. You know that. massive shout to Woody Etherwood, who has very gently been compiling a collection of isolation jams. He started it on Instagram and they were so good that we said, Woody, come on, just like record half a dozen of them. Yeah, you're going to need to practice your arpeggios for that one. I think it's time to make some noise for Marcia Hudajarova. Come on, make some noise. Yes, Marcia, absolutely killed it. More brand new music involving Dogger, working with Mindscape and Liam Bailey. The time is yours. It's coming out on their own label.
What you need, forgive who you are. Time is yours. Take what you need, forgive who you are. Time is yours. Now the time is yours.
Yeah!
Give love. to feel so. Take what you need, forgive as you go.
How nice is this? How good is drum and bass? Listen, even if we don't have a rave for a year, we'll keep it going, okay?
I was blind, I was wrong. I was blind, I was wrong. I'm coming from love. I was blind, I was wrong. I was blind, I was wrong. Oh, I was strong. I was so strong. Give love, give love. Give love, the time is yours. Give love, give love. Give love, the time is yours. Take what you need, take what you need, take what you need. To give who you are. Take what you need. To give who you are, who you are. To give who you are. Take what you need to give who you are. The time is yours. Take what you need to give who you are. The time is yours. Digging on so far. You know, so far. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Take what you need. Take what you need. Take what you need. To give who you are. To give who you are.
And it is weird when you're a DJ and you're used to working pretty much every weekend. I love this. I want to do a gig so I can play it out. It's not fair. Incoming is something rather special from the Kings of the Rollers EP. This is the Circuits remix of the mighty Burnt Ends. We agonised long and hard over who would do the remix, and we decided that Circuits would be the best people. Check it out. And this to me is a lesson in how to remix a foghorn jump up tune intelligently. Incoming, more Kings of the Rollers from their EP. This is a cut called Solar Heat. Jake 9760 says, hey Tony, I hope you're doing well during this weird time that we're in. I'd love a shout out on the podcast. I've been a fan of Hospital for coming up to 10 years now, ever since I was 16 and discovered the sound of D&B. It's helped me through very, very dark times and has aided me through some very tough times in life. I remember singing my heart out to Begin By Letting Go by Etherwood during a club night where I live in Leicester, and it was so magical that I got emotional. Wow! Please never stop what you do. You're doing more than you know. Jake. I mean, I'm not doing more than I know. I'm doing what I like. That's different. Okay, so a brand new feature of the podcast. I am going to play the best demo that we received in the last week, every week. And this is Scream Arts. And that definitely deserves a reload right from the beginning. Let's go. Now, you can probably hear my dog barking in the background. As you can tell, I have totally forgotten to do what did we release 10 years ago and what did we release 20 years ago. Oh, yeah. But it doesn't matter because you got this. This came through the Hospital demo inbox, which is on the homepage of hospitalrecords.com. Submit your best couple of MP3s and we'll take it from there. We cannot reply to everybody. Love it. Easily sounds as good as commercially released tracks, but it's got a certain freshness about it. Nice bit of guitar playing there. Now I got a shout in from Ben who says, hi Tony, I hope you and your family are safe and well. I've been thinking about contacting you since your release of Building Better Worlds, but I've been struggling with how to put this request to you. Following listening to podcast 415 yesterday, and you mentioning contacting you via Instagram being the best method, whilst out with my dog watching the sunrise this morning, I decided to stop stalling and start writing. Drum and bass has been a huge part of my life for the last 15 years, and I was fortunate enough to attend my first hospitality on the beach in Tisno last year. You did well, which I must say was up there with one of the best weeks of my life and will certainly be returning post-COVID-19. I was recently furloughed by my company, but I'm in a fortunate position that I'm still receiving a decent wage for the next 3 weeks at least. As for a lot of people, this lockdown has given people time to reflect. For the sake of not waffling on and sending you loads of different messages, I wanted to ask if I could use your album title of Building Better Worlds as a new business initiative with my mother. She's been a gardener for the last 30 years, and the COVID pandemic has highlighted how much we all rely on everyone else. Our idea is to help show people how they can build a better world, and that small changes in life can make a huge difference to someone's happiness. This is just an idea at the moment and only a brief description, but with an established business already running, I'm looking to diversify and expand with the hope that people will take more time for themselves and families to appreciate what they have over looking at everything else that they want. If this is all a bit far-fetched, then I apologise for wasting your time. Keep up the amazing work at hospital. Your mixes, podcasts and new releases really do help get us through. If I could also get a shout out to Charlie Cooper, my younger brother, whose love of D&B rivals mine and cannot wait for our next hospitality event together. All the best and keep safe. I'm finishing on the most amazing tune that's out at the moment. It's the Kings of the Rollers featuring Lydia playing Somebody Else.
I
My name's London Electricity, and I'm out of here.
I dream.